why I'm worried for Volkanovski against Diego Lopes in the rematch. Now, this does seem like a pretty pointless rematch. I don't think it makes any sense for Diego Lopes to get another shot against Volkanovski, especially because the first fight really wasn't that competitive. Lopes had big moments, but it was pretty clear that Volkanovski was the way better fighter of the two. But after rewatching the first fight, it really seemed like it was more of Diego Lopes losing the fight for himself than Volkanovski winning. Now, Volkanovski had a great performance, but Lopes made so many mistakes that really could have helped him finish the fight. Now, in the first fight, I did pick Diego Lopes. I got the pick wrong, but I did get a few things right. Obviously, we know he has great power, and I actually said he has pretty good cardio. He could go 25 minutes, and in the 5th round, he didn't really look that gassed at all. He has pretty good defensive grappling. Volkanovski wasn't really able to take him down outside of the 1st round, and it's going to be a striking match where Volkanovski has to outpoint him over 25 minutes, which he did. And I think Lopes, his first mistake is he just came out too patient. It looked like he was trying to outpoint Volkanovski, and it just didn't work out for him. I don't see any scenario where Lopes is able to win a decision. I think he knows and everyone knows he has to win this fight by knockout. Lopes wasn't able to cut him off really at any point. Volkanovski was able to get back in the center, and Lopes, after the 1st round or two, he kind of abandoned the leg kicks, which are some of his most underrated weapons. Volkanovski, he's not great at checking leg kicks. We saw Ilya land a bunch on Volkanovski. I think maybe if he kept on throwing them, it could have hindered Volkanovski's movement, and maybe finally Lopes would have been able to cut him off. And how the fight actually went, it was pretty low output for about a minute at a time. Both would throw in the pocket, some crazy exchange. Volkanovski would get the better of it. They would separate, and then another minute would go by, and then they would throw again. So it was relatively low output. And while taking the slow approach did help Lopes make it to the 5th round and did help his cardio, he's just never going to win a decision against Volkanovski. His way of winning is creating chaos and getting a knockout. And I think one of his biggest mistakes was in round 4 when he did end up hurting Volkanovski for the 2nd time. You know, he hurt Volk at the end of round 2. I don't think it was enough to win him the round. And unfortunately for him, there was only 10 seconds left, so there wasn't really anything he could have done about it. But in round 4, he's saving his cardio. He's not throwing a ton. He still isn't gassed, and he finally hurts Volkanovski for a 2nd time with an uppercut. He causes a cut, and Volkanovski, his vision, he can't really see that well. And for the first time in the fight, Lopes is finally able to cut off the cage, and there's about a minute and a half left in the round, maybe 2 minutes. And after Lopes goes after him for 10 seconds, he just stares at him for 90 seconds, and he just doesn't do anything with a hurt Volkanovski you can't see in front of him. And this was the moment where Lopes was going to get the KO, and he just didn't let his hands go. Now, maybe his thought process was, it's 2-2. I'm going to save my energy. I'm not going to gas out, and I'm going to win the 5th round. I'm going to win by a decision. But then in round 5, he does nothing at the start of the round. For the first half of round 5, he really didn't throw that much. He was waiting for the big shot, except for the last 30 seconds or so. And then he points down in the middle, which was so annoying because he points down, and it's like you had the entire round to do that, to go after Volkanovski. And Volk, he's up on scorecards. He doesn't need to throw with you in the center. Now, to be fair, the 5th round, the strikes were pretty close. Lopes actually arguably could have won it. I definitely think Volk won the 5th round, but it was a lot closer than I remember. But with Volkanovski, he already beat him, and I just feel like it's a very high risk fight where he does get knocked out, and a pretty low reward. He already beat Lopes. This doesn't really do anything for his legacy. On top of that, I think now he's 37 years old. He's a little bit older, about a year older than the rematch. I don't know how much worse he's going to look. He looked pretty good against Lopes, arguably prime Volk, somewhere around there. So I think Lopes needs to create chaos. I know he was losing a lot of those exchanges early on, but that's really his only path to victory. Stay with the leg kicks, and he has to cut off Volkanovski. And for Volk to win, he needs to do almost exactly what he did in the first fight, except I think he may try to mix in the grappling more. We know he took him down in the 1st round and controlled him. I think he's going to do the same thing early on. I don't know if Lopes will be able to stuff it this time, but I think Volkanovski is going to go to the grappling every single round, where outside of the 1st, he didn't really shoot that many takedowns on Lopes. And he did say in an interview he wants to win this in a more dominant fashion, and I think that's really the only way he could win it more dominantly is by taking down Lopes over and over again, like he did against Yair. but Lopes has way better takedown defense and just overall grappling compared to Yair. And then same thing, just keep on circling, stay off the cage, do not have your back up against the cage, constantly moving. We know Volkanovski is great at that. And for my prediction, it's tough because I really can see Lopes winning. I picked him in the first fight. I really can see him getting it done. He's the underdog. But the one thing that makes me not want to pick Lopes is his fight against Silva. He didn't really change anything. Obviously, it was a crazy fight, and we need something like that against Volkanovski. But Gene Silva was the one creating the chaos for the most part. Volkanovski, he is not going to do that. He's not going to pull a Gene Silva, throw a million elbows. He's going to stay patient, and because of that, I don't think Lopes is going to change his approach. Honestly, in a lot of his fights, he hasn't fought super crazy in some of them. Some of them have been kind of low pace against lower level guys where he's just easily able to get the knockout or submission pretty early on. So because of that, I think I am going to lean Volkanovski by a decision in kind of the same way. I don't think Lopes can win a decision. I think maybe it's possible. I guess if you gave him the second round in the first fight, it would have been 3-2 Volk, and the fifth round was close. But I think Volk's going to do it. I think he's going to win in a very similar fashion. I am super worried for him. I'm not going to be shocked at all if Lopes gets the knockout. I think Volk is going to mix in the grappling a little bit more. Same thing. I think he's going to get hurt maybe in one round or so. Lopes will probably drop him. I think Volk, he's taking about a year off. I think his chin will be fine. So I am going to go with Volk by decision. Let me know who you guys are picking in this fight, what you think. If you think Lopes is going to be able to get it done, let me know what you think, what you disagree with.